Yeah, man! Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you jerk chicken mushroom pizza. You're gonna need all-purpose flour, bran, sugar, cornmeal, boneless chicken breast, bell pepper or sweet pepper, onion, dried parsley, dried basil. You can use any of these herbs fresh. Jerk chicken seasoning, yeast for baking, cheddar cheese, I'm using mozzarella, sliced mushrooms, tomato paste, salt, and garlic. I am using a 14-inch pizza tray, oil or butter. Visit JamaicanDinners.com for the recipe. Boil a cup and a half water. If chicken is frozen like this, defrost it. Take the chicken's breast, put it in a container that you use to season meat. If you're not in a hurry, just allow the chicken to defrost room temperature. However, if you're in a hurry, add enough water into the bowl and allow the chicken to defrost. That might take an hour between 2 hours to defrost. After 2 minutes between 3 minutes, turn the stove off. We just want warm water. First, make pizza crust. Get a clean bowl ready. Measure 3 cups all-purpose flour and then add it into the bowl. Measure and put in the bowl half cup bran, maybe it's called wheat bran. Measure and add 1 teaspoon salt. I'm using sea salt. Add that to the flour mixture. Wash the cup clean. Measure 2 teaspoons of yeast and then put it into the cup. After that, measure 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using brown sugar. You could use granulated instead. Put sugar in the cup with the yeast. Ensure to level off the spoon when you're measuring. Add in the cup 1 cup water. The sugar will activate the yeast. Ensure the water is warm to the touch, not hot. Use a spoon. Stir in the sugar with the yeast and water. Mix it well. Measure 3 teaspoons of cooking oil. I'm using coconut oil. Add the oil to the liquid. You could use butter instead. If you're using butter, add the butter to the flour mixture. Use your finger, knead the butter into the flour mixture. Remember now, the liquid should be warm to the touch. Your hands are going to get messy for the next step. Use your palm and fingers. Blend your dried ingredients together well. For the next step, instead of using your hands, use a mixer instead. Start slow, work the speed up to medium. Pour liquid mixture in the flour mixture. Continue using your one hand with your palm and fingers. Knead the dough properly. Keep your other hand clean and free to hold the bowl steady for now. The recipe is just right. At this point, you will not need to add any more flour. Knead the dough well. It's less labor intense if you use a mixer. If using a mixer, allow kneading to between 3 minutes. Do what I'm doing. So patiently go through, knead the dough properly. Knead the pizza dough properly. Press on the dough with your palm. Knead the dough properly. Knead the dough well. Oh, and if you're using the mixer, ensure to use the blade with the shape curved like an S. When the dough is less sticky or not, then you can use your other hand to knead the dough properly. You could do what I'm doing. Use your free hand, rub your hands together. Remove the dough that is on your fingers and in between your fingers. Oh, ensure that your hands and fingers are clean. Wash it with soap until it suds. Rub between your fingers and your hands. Clean. Ensure that your nails are clean. And then rinse it properly. Fold your fingers in a fist. Use your fist. Knead the dough properly. Press on the dough with your palm. Knead the dough well. To get a good eating pizza, ensure to knead the dough well. Use your palm and fingers. Work out the gas. You must knead the dough properly. Put some strength in it. Knead the dough like a pro. Every now and again, fold the dough in and then knead it again. It is important that you knead the dough properly. At the end, fold in the dough to form a ball. Measure 1 teaspoon between a tablespoon of cooking oil. First, pour half in the bowl. Use your fingers or a baking paper or something like that. Coat the bowl evenly with oil or use the can that you can spray. Coat the bowl evenly and then coat the dough evenly. After that, pour some of the tablespoon of oil in the palm of your hand. Kinda coat the dough with oil evenly. Or use butter instead. Place the oiled dough into the bowl. After that, use a clean, damped cloth to cover the bowl. Let the bowl stay in a warm, dry place for 45 minutes between an hour and a half. Measure half cup flour. Put it aside to be used later. After 45 minutes, as much as an hour and a half, this is what the dough looks like. It has swollen somewhat. Take a little flour, put it in your hand, add it to the dough. The dough rose somewhat. That's what you want. Now, for this part, you need to knead the dough for between 5 minutes straight. Therefore, use the palm of your hands and your fists occasionally. Knead the dough and then fold it in occasionally. Knead it again. Fold it in occasionally. Knead it again. Do this for between 5 minutes non-stop. By doing this, you're releasing the gas that is in the dough. It has a special name. I can't remember it right now. But ensure to knead the dough for 5 minutes straight. Use your fist sometimes. Press on the dough hard. Knead the dough well. Use the palm of your hand. Press on the dough hard. Knead dough properly. Only time you should use flour is when it starts to stick on your hand or on the bowl. Fold the dough in a ball. After you do that, pour some oil in the bowl. Coat inside of the bowl evenly with oil or butter. Put some oil or butter on the dough as well. Place it into the center of the bowl and then use a damp cloth to cover the bowl properly. Let the dough stay for between 6 hours, room temperature. Second, prepare pizza toppings. We're using 3 garlic cloves. Cut ends off. Peel garlic. Trim spoilage. After that, grind garlic to puree. Put garlic aside. I like to cut the onion in half. Peel onion. Remove the brown skin only. Remember now, the first layer of the onion is the strongest. Only remove it if it is spoiling. Dice onion fine. Keep ingredients separated and in one place, such as on a plate. Place on the plate between 1.5 tablespoons dried parsley and 1 tablespoon dried basil. Remember now, you can use any of these herbs fresh. Chop it fine. Place 1/4 teaspoon or a pinch of salt on the plate. Dice sweet or bell pepper, but first wash it clean. Put the sweet pepper in the water. Drizzle several drops of distilled white vinegar on the sweet pepper. Now use your fingers, rub the skin of the sweet pepper or bell pepper clean and then rinse it with fresh water. It's best if you do this part under fresh running water. If your bell pepper or sweet pepper has a dent on it like this, don't throw it away, just trim it off. Use a sharp knife. Cut off pepper's stem. Remove the seeds. Ensure that inside of the pepper is cleaned properly. After that, dice bell pepper. Cut the pepper in half. Cut small strips. Hold the strips together and then dice it. Use 1 cup more or less diced bell/sweet pepper. Clean the surface of the can before you open it. Use your can opener. Open can. You have 6 ounce or 8 ounce canned or tinned tomato paste. The recipe calls for 6 ounce. You can use more or less. Take caution with these open canned sharp edges. Clean the surface of the can before you open it. The recipe calls for 1 cup sliced mushrooms. If you're using fresh mushrooms, ensure to wash it clean and then slice it. However, I'm using sliced mushrooms from the can. Therefore, remove that water, give mushroom a final rinse on the fresh running water, and then pour out that water. Put it aside for later. Next, we're using 2 cups of shredded cheese, cheddar cheese. To save money, buy the block of cheese. And to get a better eating pizza, use mozzarella cheese. Use your favorite cheddar cheese. If you're using block of cheese, cut it and then shred it. Get one of these 4-sided shredder. Use this side to shred the cheese just right. The alternative way to do this is to cut the cheese in chunks, small little chunks. Do what I'm doing. At the end of the day, you want 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Third, prepare chicken. Get a food scissors that you use for meat ready. Get a chopping board ready. Get a sharp knife ready. Now, this is the chicken. It took 2 hours to defrost. Remove the chicken's skin. Use your fingers and palm. Rip off the chicken's skin. Use a knife. Trim fat. Remove anything that is not chicken off. I am not using the chicken's bones. I'm not gonna clean it out. For this next part, put the chicken on a chopping board. Use a paring knife. Get between the chicken's bone and flesh. Remove the chicken's flesh from the bone. And to do that, use the paring knife. Get between the chicken's bone and flesh. Rub the knife against the bone, removing the chicken's flesh. Remember, when using a sharp knife, cut away from you. Go through patiently, remove the flesh from the chicken's breast. Patiently debone the chicken. You're not trying to be professional. At the end of the day, you just want to remove the bone so that you can have boneless chicken. There is not much bone on the chicken's breast, or in other words, the bone is in one place. Most of the chicken's breast is flesh. Debone chicken patiently. Get between the chicken's bone and flesh. Rub the knife against the bone, removing the chicken's flesh. Remember, when using a sharp knife, cut away from you. Go through patiently, remove the flesh from the chicken's breast. Patiently debone the chicken. You're not trying to be professional. At the end of the day, you just want to remove the bone so that you can have boneless chicken. There is not much bone on the chicken's breast. Most of the chicken's breast is flesh. Debone chicken patiently. After that, wash out the same bowl that we are using. Add enough water into the bowl. Put the boneless chicken in the water. Now, drizzle several drops of distilled white vinegar in the water. Use your palm and fingers. Wash the boneless chicken properly. Remove anything that is not chicken. Feel if there's any bone left back and remove it. For the next step, get a clean bowl ready. After that, give boneless chicken a final rinse. It's best if you do this part under fresh running water. After rinse, use the palm of your hands. Squeeze boneless chicken, removing remaining water. So in other words, ensure that water is not on the chicken. Make sure to remove the small pieces of chicken that is in the water. We're gonna need it. Wash the chopping board clean. Now, dice or cut boneless chicken into tiny chunks. And to do that, cut chicken breasts into strips. If the strips are too big, cut the strips again. Hold the strips together. Cut fine chicken chunks. It should be as small as this, say about 1/4 inch pieces. If you don't want to use the sharp knife, you can always use a cooking scissors. Hold the strips together. Cut small, tiny chicken chunks. After you cut the tiny chunks, put it into the bowl. Alright, this is what you want. We're not going to use it now, so it's best if you cover it properly and put it in the refrigerator for later. We're waiting on the dough. We have to allow the dough to proof. This is what you want. Put it aside for the next step. Next, put to heat a medium-sized saucepan. Put the stove's gauge on low. At the same time, add chicken pieces. Measure and add 3 between 4 teaspoons of jerk seasoning. 3 between 4 teaspoons is just right. However, if you want the pizza to be hotter or spicier, add more. Jerk seasoning. Use a spoon. Stir the seasoning in. Coat chicken pieces evenly with jerk seasoning. Add no oil. Add 1/4 teaspoon or a pinch of salt to the cooking chicken pieces. Allow it to cook 2 between 3 minutes, lid off, with the stove's gauge still on low. By keeping the lid off, the chicken will not sweat, and you don't want that. Allow. Near to the end, add herbs. Once you can obviously see that the chicken is cooked, meaning it don't look raw. Stir it in. It's finished. Turn the stove off. Allow it to cook 2 between 3 minutes. Put it aside until you're ready for it again. Lid off. This is a 14-inch pizza tray. Measure a teaspoon of oil. Coat the tray evenly with oil or butter. Do what I'm doing. After that, sprinkle cornmeal evenly on the pizza tray. After several hours, the pizza dough looks like this. Just kind of knead it in for a few seconds. Use your hands and palm with your fingers. Spread out the dough. Form it in a circle. Now, the objective here is to spread the dough as wide as you can. We are not the professionals where you can just throw it up in the air and rotate it and spin it and throw it up in the air and rotate it and spin it like you see on TV. We are not that person. So at the end of the day, you just want to form it in a circle. Once you feel like it's going to break apart, then place it or put it on the pizza tray. Now use the palm of your hands with your fingers. Form a neat circle on the tray. The dough should not be sticking on your fingers. However, if it does, just sprinkle a little flour on it. Use your fingers to stretch out the pizza's dough to be as big as the tray. Go through patiently. Form the dough around the pizza tray evenly. Ensure to form a cliff around the edges. Use your fingers. Form a cliff around the edges. It might be a little challenging to stretch out the dough to fit the tray. However, it will work. Just be patient. By you sprinkling the cornmeal on the pizza tray, this will not make the pizza stick on the tray. Pull out the pizza dough while forming a circle. If while doing this, the pizza dough breaks, to fix that, use your fingers, press the dough together. Use your fingers, form a cliff around the edges. Now would be a good time to preheat oven. Before you put pizza into the oven, ensure that the tray is on one level up. Preheat oven 8 minutes before baking pizza at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, add toppings. Have prepared toppings close by. Use a rubber spatula or a spoon like this. Put tomato paste evenly on pizza right around. I like to start from the edges and just work your way in. Spread tomato paste evenly right around on the raw pizza dough that is flat on the tray. Spread tomato paste right around on pizza dough evenly. If you're selling pizza, add half of the cheese next. However, if you're making it at home, you could do what I'm doing. Start adding toppings before you add the cheese. Add garlic. This is just an alternative way to add garlic. Next, place sliced mushrooms. Start from the edges and work your way in to the middle. However, today I'm just gonna put mushroom on half of the pizza. Some people would allow the dough to sit on the tray for a few minutes before they lay topping. However, it's not necessary. Sprinkle diced onion. Start from the edges and work your way into the middle. Sprinkle diced onions evenly on the dough. Next, sprinkle diced bell pepper on the pizza dough evenly. Start from the edges and work your way into the middle. Now add cheddar cheese. Sprinkle cheese evenly. Start from the edges, work your way into the middle. Sprinkle half of the 2 cups of cheddar cheese we're using. Therefore, just use 1 cup. After that, sprinkle or put prepped, pre-cooked, jerked chicken pieces on the raw pizza. While it is baking, the chicken will finish cooking. Start from the edges, work your way around to the middle. Now, use the remaining cheese, sprinkle it evenly on the dough. Start from the edges, work your way around to the middle. On this pizza, you could add sliced olives as well. Put it on the same time with the sliced mushrooms. Next, put pizza into the oven. Close the oven, keep it closed within the time, and then set your timer for 18 minutes. Remember now, keep the oven closed within the time. This is after a few minutes. Look how the cheese is melting in the toppings. With a few seconds remaining, get ready to remove the pizza. Get ready to remove baked pizza. Use kitchen towel. Remove pizza. Do not get burned. Do not get burned. Keep the oven halfway open to release the heat. Now, to be able to rotate the pizza tray, use a big pot or a pan, turn it upside down on the countertop, and then put the pizza tray on it. After a few seconds, get a long knife. Put it between the pizza on the tray. Use it to separate the pizza from the tray right around the pizza, so that when you cut the slices, you could remove it easily. It is important that you use a big saucepan or pot so that when you rotate the pizza while doing this, it doesn't fall off. Right after that, cut pizza slices. Use a pizza knife such as this. Roll it across half the pizza. Rotate the tray and roll it across the other half. In other words, cut the pizza in quarters and then cut the quarter pieces in half. Do what I'm doing. Don't roll the pizza knife back and forth. Just roll the pizza knife forward straight across the tray. If, however, you do not have a pizza knife like this, you could always use a sharp knife. Just cut from one side to the other using a regular knife. In order for it to work properly, the knife must be sharp. You will get 8 sliced pizzas. Use a pizza spatula to remove the slices. This is jerk chicken mushroom pizza. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, and share. You should try making this pizza yourself. You will love it. This is Miguel's jerk chicken mushroom pizza. Support the chef. Buy his cookbooks. Or visit his online store. Buy a merchandise. To store pizza, put it in a sealed container or a Ziploc, or use a clean plastic bag such as these. Seal it. Put it in the refrigerator no more than 3 days. However, you could freeze it for 6 months, maybe 1 year. To do that, put 2 slices in a Ziploc or a container or a clean plastic bag. Seal it properly and then freeze it. This is something that I do all the while. Oftentimes when I used to buy pizza and they will have the special where you can buy 2 pizza for 1, I will buy the 2 pizza, separate them, freeze them, and when I'm ready for it, I just defrost it, warm it up, and then eat it. To warm it up first, allow it to defrost, and then put the pizza slices on a skillet. Put the stove's gauge on low, use the skillet's lid, cover it, and allow. It will get warm in 8 minutes. Nevertheless, after the pizza is defrosted, you could warm it up in a microwave. The flavor of this jerk chicken mushroom pizza is 1 in a million. Great recipe. If you try it, you will come back and say you loved it. Guaranteed. Chicken is cooked and spicy just right. The mushrooms goes well with jerk chicken. The mozzarella cheese make eating this pizza fun. The raw taste of garlic popped up now and again. The pizza crust is perfect. It is done professionally. I love this pizza crust. The crust is awesome. That tomato paste makes the pizza pizza. The onion and the bell pepper is infused in the pizza well. It makes eating the pizza crunchy. Look at this pizza's crust. It is soft and well done. Look. The pizza crust is spongy. I am really enjoying this pizza right now. My lips kept mildly spicy while I'm eating. Until next time, bye. Yeah, man! For those of you who purchased my books and merchandises from my online store, thank you. I am feeling the love.